Hello, good day everybody, and welcome to today's edition of 30 Days Good, 30 Days of Code Challenge. Um, in a previous section, we did introduction to web app development and front end development to be precise, and we also take a quick look at GitHub, and VS Code. So today, and also we talked about the fundamental technologies that are used by front-end developer in achieving their dreams of front-end development. And we talk about HTML, CSS, and JavaScript as is going to be what we are going to be majoring on in this challenge. So today we'll be looking at HTML. Talking of HTML, what is HTML? HTML is hypertext markup language, right? So HTML is a language that allows web developer, front-end developer to structure their website, right? So today I'm going to be describing HTML, and I'm going to be using a building as an analogy. So just like a building, without paint and every other accessory, just bricks and cement building, right? That's how HTML is. HTML is just a structure, like the skeleton of your website, which you can actually do so many other things too, like start plastering your building and painting and deciding whether you want to have decorative flowers and all of that. So it is when you have had structure before you start deciding on what to add to your structure to make it beautiful, right? So that's what HTML is. HTML is just a markup language that allows us to structure our website. So because we are using building as an analogy, you know that building are actually made up of blocks, right? Blocks comes together to make a building. The same way you have blocks that comes together to make HTML document, right? What are the blocks in HTML? These blocks are HTML tags. It is HTML tags that comes together to make up an HTML document. They are what tells the browser how to display the HTML document. So let us look at what does HTML tags look like. How do they look? How do I see something and identify that it's an HTML tag? An HTML tag starts with opens with an angle bracket, just like this, and then it's going to have a tag name inside and close. I have auto completion installed as well. So a this is a typical HTML tag. Although tag name is not a valid HTML tag though, I just use it to represent the name of whatever tag you want to use. This is what you are seeing on the screen is HTML tag, right? But most of the time HTML tags come in pair, right? This is opening tag. You also have a closing tag, and the difference between the opening and the closing tag is just the forward slash that precedes the tag name in the closing tag. What I mean is this: I'll open with angle bracket again for the closing tag, and I'm going to precede the tag name with what? With a forward slash. So that's just the difference. Although there are other HTML tags that do not require a closing tag, right? Like the image tag, img. The img tag does not require, sorry, does not require a closing tag. It is self-closing, right? So most of the time it's going to have an attribute of um, src. Sorry, my typing, right? And it's going to be like this. So usually HTML tags are paired. Most of the time they are paired. Only few, like the image tag, the line breaking tag, the horizontal row, HR, BR, those are the few elements that are self-closing, right? Why am I talking about HTML tag? Actually, today we are supposed to look at the basic structure of an HTML document, right? But we are going to use HTML tag to describe the basic structure of an HTML doc. So you need to have an idea of what an HTML tag is before we talk about HTML basic structure. So now let's look at what a basic structure of HTML is. Now, we are currently in HTML5, right, which is quite a little bit less complicated compared to the older versions. So we want to create an HTML document, and we want to also make the browser know that this particular document is HTML version 5, right? Right. So we are going to tell the document at the topmost part of the document that it's an HTML5 by declaring that, right? This is just it. This is not a tag, it's just an information, right? To tell a browser that this particular document is an HTML5 document, so that the display in every browser, or every browser in provided you are on the internet, the display is going to be based on HTML5 because it's been specified on the document that is an HTML5 document. So then the basic structure of an HTML starts really from here. Like like I said, we are going to have to nest, you know, nest elements inside of elements to make up a complete HTML document. But every element in an HTML document is nested inside one root element, which is the HTML element. The HTML element here. Like I said, sorry, I forgot to say something. When you open and close an HTML tag, you still call it tag, but when it contains a content, it becomes an HTML element. For instance, if I see paragraph, right? If I use a paragraph, this is a p tag, right? If I put I am a paragraph, for instance, right? This whole line, this line 2 as a whole becomes an HTML element because we have a opening tag, a closing tag, and content becomes an HTML element. I just needed to bring that to your notice because I didn't say that when I was describing tags. So looking at HTML, like I was saying, everything in an HTML document is going to be nested inside an HTML element. So the HTML element, we are going to open a tag for it, right? Opening with what? HTML, just like this. We have opened, and because we want to nest things inside, right? We want to have to separate them. There are two direct children inside HTML element, right? Two direct children. One is the head and the other is the body, just like this. We are going to have the head tag inside the HTML document, just like this. That's a direct child. Then we're also going to have another one, which is the body, right? Just like this. So these are two direct parent and two direct child of HTML element. What do I mean when I say direct child? You see that inside the HTML element, they are just there. They are the first thing you are seeing there. If I come here and put something inside this place, it's no longer a direct child to the HTML element. It becomes a grandchild to the HTML element. So these two are direct children, right? HTML direct children. So the header contain mainly metadata, and information there are not meant to be seen by the users, right? What users see when they log on to our website or our web app is whatever the body is containing. Whatever is in the head is just for maybe the doc, the HTML doc information, the titles and links. That's what you have in the header. Users do not need to see all that. So let us open this. Like I said, you are going to have to download VS Code and also install live server. So with my live server, I want to be seeing whatever I am doing. So I have to open my live server. So right. So this is it. Because my HTML document is actually empty. You are not seeing anything in this place. So if I come, okay, let me share my screen. If I come to this place and say, if I come to this header and say maybe I want to write something here, I say, let me put p tag here and just write anything, right? Yeah. Right, it's inside the head. I am now inside the head, but because I'm using p tag, right? You are seeing it. Ideally, p tag cannot go into the head because by standard, the head is not meant for what are supposed to show on the screen. Sorry about that. Let me put it on silent. Okay, sorry about that. So now, if you look at this header, you are going to see that if you look at our browser, for instance, you are seeing IP address and introduction slash index.html, right? So what I can do here is to put my title because I want to change what is showing there, right? So I will put that inside my header. This is not the page. This is not my web page. Understand, this is not my web page, so it's not going to show inside my web page. I just want that title so that whenever somebody log into my website, the address bar, just like you are seeing this address bar now, it's showing DuckDuckGo, you are seeing this one is showing inbox, wherever, right? But this one is not showing anything meaningful, so I want to add what will be showing um on my title bar on the title bar of my browser. So I can see the one, right? And when I refresh, I sure this is my live server, sha. Let me open the live server. Okay, yeah, it's there now. So you can now see that my title bar is now taking what I have just typed in instead of the gibberish that was showing there before. Then other things we can put here, we are going to know as time goes on. You have metadata. I can also put my character set in there. I can link my my CSS to my HTML using the link tag. The same I can also do same with my with other accessories that I will want to use, right? So that's that about the header, but the body of the body of the HTML document carries the main information that end users of my website are going to see whenever they log into my website. So for instance, if I come here and say I want to have a heading and call it let's say H2, we are going to come to describe heading, right? H1, H2, but I just want to use it here and say this is my own website, right? You are going to see it live on my page, right? On my web browser's display, not any other place. It's going to show here because it's inside my body, right? So what else do we need to talk about in there? So um that is that about the basic structure. This is what you are seeing on my VS Code is just the basic structure of an HTML document, right? You first of all you declare the version of HTML you are using. Then the next thing is you use the HTML tag and nest the head tag and the body tag inside of it. Then the head tag now contains all the metadata right? Then the body contains the contents that you want your users to actually see when they log into your website. So there are lots of HTML tags, of which if we say we want to treat each and every one of them, we will not be able to do that for the next one month, right? But we are just going to pick some few that you are going to be needing as time goes on, right? Need will now make you to learn more of HTML tags. HTML tags HTML tags are actually of different types because of their various functions. There are HTML tags that are used for text editing, right? Like the B tag for bold, the I tag for italics, the strong tag for important test, and many others like that, right? So those are tests. Those are just HTML tags that are used for text editing. Like for instance, if I do not put this in, if I replace this H2 with um if I replace this H2 with P, for instance, the boldness will live there, right? But I can decide to say I want to bold website, right? I will come inside there and use the B tag, right? Oh, sorry. I'm using the B tag and I'm putting my website in there. You see that the website becomes bold because I've told it to be bold, right? So those are text editing HTML tags, right? They are just for editing. I can also change the B tag to I and make it italic, right? When I change it to I, it becomes italic. So those are text editing HTML tags. So there are also some other HTML tags for media, media HTML tags that are used for media, mainly like the IMG tag, which I talked about before, the image tag, the video tag, the audio tag. They are all for multimedia. You also have interactive tags like the anchor tags, the buttons, the inputs. Those are interactive tags. Like, you know, anchor tag is this A tag, right? The what you usually use for creating links. Like you want to link a website, a click on a particular text to take you to different website, right? You can just use the anchor tag. That's what you use. That's why they are classified under interactive HTML tags, right? Including buttons. Because when you click a button, you expect an action to happen, you expect something to happen. That makes it interactive, right? Then you also have some HTML elements that are self-closing, like I talked about image before. Now let's also look at HR, which is horizontal rule, right? When I put horizontal rule here, you see that it draws a line across my page. It's horizontal rule, but I don't actually need to close the tag, right? This is a self-closing tag. I don't need to come and say HR, sorry, HR like this, right? I don't need to do that because it's useless doing that. So because it's a self-closing tag, I will just leave it like this. The same thing with BR, which is line break, right? Assuming I want to take this my website to another line, right? The website alone to another line, I can just come here and say BR, right? And close it, right? It takes it to the next line. It's just like me. It's just like me hitting enter, right? To go to another line. So that's what BR. So these are self-closing HTML tag. As time goes on, you will see more and more of HTML tags. But I think I've explained few. We cannot explain some HTML tag without talking of HTML heading tags, which are also very important for developers because you are always going to be needing them. HTML heading tag are are they are listed. They are arranged from one in an order from 1 to 6, right? With each one being on the highest ranking, right? So what I mean is, if we have each one, for instance, I can, let me just duplicate and have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? I will just change this. I think it was actually easier doing right to 2, 3, 4. Oh, sorry, 14 here. H 4, 5, and 6. These are different level of HTML headings, right? Different level. Now, if I put something here, let's say I copy this. This is I am heading, right? Like this. You see how big it is. If I copy same and put it in all of them, right? I put it here, 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 and here. Are you seeing it? There's an order. You see that as the number, as the heading tag number increases, the size decreases. This is to show you how they are in order, right? Each one is usually of the highest order, following by H2, H3, H4, just like that, right? There are cases where you use each and every one of these. Most of the time it is advised to use each one only once in a page, right? Just once in a page, because they are useful for search engine optimization. As time goes on, you also understand what we mean by search engine optimization. Then we cannot also talk about tag without talking about the famous p tag, right? This is the p tag, which means the paragraph tag. The paragraph tag is called a paragraph tag because whatever content you create with it is going to start on its own line, right? Unless you force it not to. It's going to start on its own line. So if I come in, if I write anything here now, I am para, right? Is there. If I copy this and also paste it here, it's going to the next, to another line, even though it's on the same line in my HTML element, because it's having its own opening and closing tag. That means it's another paragraph, so it's going to go to a different line, right? That makes it a paragraph tag, and it's usually used most of the time for just text, right? Then you also have the containing tags, like the div for divider, right? You also have the span. These are also two tags that are mainly used as containers. Like I said, we are going to have to really do live practices, right? But because we are introducing ourselves into HTML, we are not going to be doing that. I think it's scheduled for once a week, right? To actually pick up a project and work on it live for everybody to see, right? We start it from scratch and probably end it. If we can't, we postpone it to another day and all of that. But this is div and span. They are actually containing HTML tag. They are used mainly as containers. They don't have any specialty, right? They are just containers where you can now put content, different content. I can nest p tag, I can nest heading, I can nest anything I want to nest, right? That makes it a containing a container tag, right? Is there any other elements that is frequently used that we need to talk about? Okay, I think our first live section is going to be okay. They'll communicate that to you. So on the live section, we are going to pick a particular project which we are going to do live, right? We are going to tackle it live, and we just trash it, right? So this is going to be the end of today's section. Thank you all for listening. See you in the next section.